Hey, what's good, everybody? Your resident auntie and Unc here on this glorious Monday evening. How's it going, Unc? You good?
Yeah, I'm all right. How about you?
Why are you playing with your belly button then? I'm
I
all
ain't
right.
feeling, but I'm scratching my stomach though.
Okay. But no, we chilling.
You
We
know I let
chilling.
my belly button mess with.
We got the moo going on. We chillaxing. We comfortable. What you drinking there? What you drinking there, buddy?
Fit Vine Cabernet.
A Cabernet, you say? You know that
What you
kind of
drinking?
shit. That makes you a little bit kind of catty. Kind of like cat make you a catty bitch.
What you drinking?
Riesling.
All right, pot.
Whatever, kettle. What's good, everybody? As you may have noticed already, I haven't said hi to none of y'all in the chat because this is not live. Moving sucks.
Gotcha.
Gotcha, bitch. Moving sucks ass. And I completely forgot that I'd be at the Coheed show Sunday night, spending night to Monday. Got shit to do moving wise. So we pre-recording. We trying to be a little fancy for y'all or whatever.
Plus, we had some new shit we wanted to try out on the recording system.
Yeah,
so.
had a new recording system we want to try out. And plus, you may be noticing the lovely new background or whatever the fuck. So that's fire.
I can't see it, so.
You can't. You'll see it Monday. You can watch with the peasants. I'm just kidding. Y'all aren't peasants. But no, so we just kind of decided to kick it for y'all tonight and chill out and be a little chill, be a little catty, be a little petty, and give out some life nuggets. Just give out some life nuggets, like some things that we have come across in our lives that, just have either brought some nuanced viewpoints, revelations, lessons learned and shit, stuff like that. Yeah, so there's that. Just trying to give it a little something here today.
So, we like to give subjects with people around. we like to have subjects for our subjects.
Subjects for your subjects. There we go. Let's stretch me out a little bit.
You stretching yourself out like that? You on camera.
I got to stretch out. I told you we relax. I got to stretch out. There we go. Now I can move my arms and y'all can actually see what the fuck I'm doing. So, life nuggets. So let's start like touching base a little bit. So where I'm at in my life journey is essentially I am learning how to take a back seat a lot more. I'm learning how to be less in control of things because control issues are like my whole hitch pin. Shut the hell up. Shut the hell up. And that comes from a long line of just kind of anxiety and upbringing stuff. It's like chaos in my home environment. It's like I have to be the scapegoat. I have to be the one that makes everyone laugh. I have to be the one that's in charge of the atmosphere to make it good for everyone so that I'm not anxious, even though that makes me anxious. It's like it served me in the beginning, but it stopped serving me about halfway through and it sucked. So I am no longer the planner in the family. I don't plan family outings unless I am directly asked. None of this out of the way, half-ass bullshit. You really gonna make me drive home? Mm-hmm. You drove down here. Mm-hmm. You really not gonna help with this? No, I was not asked.
No.
And the best part about it is I don't feel bad about it anymore. Now that took some doing. Not feeling bad about decisions you've made, especially if they are in your best interest, being selfish.
Mm-hmm.
That's been amazing. It's been amazing so far. Like this whole move. So when Apollo, my loving Apollo, turned 18 and decided to go off to school, I'm like, oh, we got one through the field goal. we got We got one to the
It's
future.
good.
It's good, and the other two are on track. It's good. Because I was a very involved auntie. Y'all often hear me call myself super auntie, like doling out money, no questions asked, even though it took forever for me to spend something on myself. Like all that. And when their father came back in the picture, whatnot, and he was picking up a lot of the slack. Stop it. Picking up a lot more of the slack. I didn't have as many responsibilities or pretend responsibilities. So I was like, damn, I could really go in.
Self-imposed responsibilities.
Yes, self-imposed responsibilities. I said, damn, I could really go anywhere. I could do anything. I could apply to any job anywhere in the United States. There's nothing tying me here because they got it. And that was very eye-opening for me. So that's kind of where I started my journey. A recent snapshot of my journey. Glitch, you asked me something earlier last week or whatever about a decision you had made, and you started off the phone calls like, you look at you don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about. Last week, bitch, what was today? It was like, this is gonna be good. Let me listen.
No.
You called me and you said, I just made a decision and I've set things in motion, and you're either gonna be really proud of me or call me stupid. And you told me what it was, and you asked me what my opinion was, and I told you I didn't have one. You remember that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think you said you had one, but it didn't matter, or something of that nature.
That too. And so you was like, well, what does that mean? I said, so let me explain where I'm at right now on my self-help stuff. I am learning to stop making judgments about shit that don't concern me. You can ask me what I think, but because of that whole self-reference stuff, self-frame reference stuff, I'm only going to look at it through the lens of myself. This is your life. These are your decisions. You came to these conclusions by yourself, did you not?
Yeah.
What I look like
and
having
sober.
judgments about that, and sober. That's also important. What I look like having judgments about that. And so that's the piece of work that is most up and coming for me right now, is especially as I'm interacting with other people, having knee-jerk reactions, like the whole BlurCon versus Black Fayday shit online. I ain't weighing not one time.
Look, I got to a point where, like, I guess I can do a little snippet of my shit is
go for it.
I just say what I say, leave it alone. I don't even worry about explaining shit no more. I explain it once.
I'm sorry.
It's like I explain it once, and then it's just like, I done said it. I ain't trying to explain it. Because part of my journey is because of how I was raised and how I was blamed about shit. I always felt the need to over-explain myself because I ain't want to get yelled at or beat or anything of that nature. But
even though you did anyway. Because
I'd be insubordinate or disrespectful.
Yeah, disrespectful. But you just asked me what time it is, and I asked if you wanted it in 12 hours, 24. Disrespectful. Now you're being smart.
Basically, shit like that. But I used to let shit like that bother me all the time. But they don't get what I'm trying to say. Like, nah, Ned. I said what I said. I made it clear.
That's not your fault.
They don't want to hear it, then they don't want to hear it.
They don't understand it, that's not your fault. Now, if they ask you for clarification, that's different.
Yeah, which I've learned how to clarify myself a lot better.
Oh, shit.
I've learned to deal with my emotions better, as in not let certain things bother me as much as they should. It's not completely water off a duck's back, but it's just like, I can acknowledge, damn, this bothers me. I acknowledge that it bothers me. Why does it bother me? Okay, that's why. All right, cool. I don't let it fester.
I think that's a big thing too, taking more accountability. Like, I don't remember what the hell we was talking. That's what we were talking about. We were talking about somebody's Facebook reels or whatever, and they was learning how to do nails, and they were just really over the top with it. And the first thing out my mouth, I'm working on myself. That's ugly. I'm working on myself. Hence, the judgment is the next piece of work. That's ugly. And I'm like, is it ugly, or is that the style that they like, and you just don't like it for yourself? And I'm like,
ugly to you.
It's ugly to me. I could not see myself wearing that. That is perfect. That's what I mean. Like, backtracking and taking accountability, not only for what you mean, but like how
explaining it to yourself.
Express yourself. Yeah. So that's what I'm working on. We talk a lot about our upbringing, but I don't think we ever like really dive deep into it either. Ooh. I don't think we got enough time for that. But no, both Southern born, Southern raised, Black
Southern
folks.
Christian raised.
Southern Christian raised Black folks. single parent homes, even though
Single
your
mothers, single mothers.
single mothers, yeah, but even though like your other extended family was a bit more involved than mine and whatnot.
That ain't really a good thing.
I never said it was.
Whew.
Never said it was.
Mm.
I learned quickly that it was not a good thing. So I was like, I want to go around their house. I want to be with my cousins. No, the fuck you don't. No, the fuck you don't. No, the fuck you don't. They're different people, and you weren't ready. But no, like lots of life nuggets. Lots of my work comes from having to look back at some of that stuff. Like I remember when I was in my master's program, and we had this whole reflection of life paper to do or whatnot. And like he was one of them cunning professors. Like he won't tell you the purpose of the assignment. You got to figure it out. And then when you do, it's just like, oh. So it was just like, biases and stereotypes and looking at your upbringing and your experiences up until, the point of being in the class.
1 second while you're talking.
Yeah.
Keep talking.
And looking for those patterns. And I delved really deep in my childhood and noticed that, I have been vying for my mother's attention my whole life. Y'all often hear me like laugh and giggle, talking about, yeah, I finally got her because she lives with me now, whatever. But I have been vying for her attention my whole life because I'm the youngest of 3 girls. And I could never figure out what I wasn't doing to get the same attention that they was getting. Like, I'm getting a good grade. I play 9 instruments. I bring home trophies and shit. I always say thank you when you bring me stuff. Like, I was the MVP. Why was I getting MVP treatment? But then I also had to reach back into some of those, those stories that your family tells and all that shit to like, you remember that time that such and such was 5 and she beat up the dog and shit like that. So it's funny. I actually have a story like that about my sister. But I was reaching back in all the stories, and the one story that stood out to me was when my sisters had to ride the short bus for a period of time because they got suspended off the real bus because my older sister rode up to a bully's house that was bullying my other sister, and whooped their ass in their front yard. Now that was a hilarious story, but then I realized it's like they got the most attention because she had to worry about them. She didn't have to worry about me. And when I had to write that in that paper, came to that realization, I was like, oh shit, bitch, you've been hyper independent your whole life, and this is your doing. Damn.
Yep.
That's crazy.
But also realizing that your hyper independence can be a good thing, but also it can fuck you up.
Yeah. Yeah. Having that balance between, sure, it serves us, but it doesn't serve us at the same time. Like, what environments is this going to succeed for me?
Let's be real. How many, all you hyper independent people, myself included, how many relationships have you fucked up, whether they be friendships, acquaintances, work, jobs, or relationships romantically? Have you fucked up because you want to be Mr. and Mrs. or them's independent?
Yeah, that goes for you too, my gifted children, my gifted child syndrome people.
Yeah.
Hi.
How many times? Really sit down and think about it. Like, you fucked up a relationship some way or another.
And it may not even be like self-sabotage. It may be emotional shut-off, and not in the way that you may initially think. Emotional shut-off can look like, sure, I just don't share, or sure, whatever. But it's really, I don't want to take up too much space, or I don't want to be a bother, or I don't want to
put myself out there.
I don't want to impact someone else in the way I've been impacted because I know what it feels like. You got to stop doing it. You got to stop taking.
I don't want to make people feel like how I felt, but at the same time, going through that makes people feel like how you felt.
And it's not up to us how people feel. We are not in charge of that. We don't get to decide. It doesn't matter what behavior or characteristics you exhibit. They're going to feel how they are intended to feel, and you can't change that. I say it multiple times a week to many clients. We are not responsible for other people's character development. We may have a hand in it. We may have a role, but we are not directly responsible for anyone's character development. We can't get in the way of anyone's karma, especially for those that like to swoop in and save people. Stop it. You can't swoop in and say, that's like saying, oh no, this dog has been hit by a car. Let me save it and take it to the vet. That dog just bit 3 people. It's rabid and needs to be put down.
And you might be using your grocery money to take care of it.
Not putting yourself out on last. Now
I love animals, but
I love animals. Shit, who you telling?
Like, we love animals. Like, straight up.
I can't stop taking motherfucking animals in.
Even the ones I don't like, I like.
Right. But there's a difference between upholding your values and putting yourself out. Like, you're not only throwing yourself under the bus, you're literally driving it too.
Yep.
And we got to draw a line. You got to draw a line in the fucking sand.
You gotta wake up and say,
what am I going to deal with today? Not fucking this.
But yeah, like for real though, another life nugget. Trauma. Let's just go ahead and just say that word right now. Two things about it.
Okay.
You were never too old to deal with your trauma.
Boom. I don't care if you're 75, 86. I don't care.
And you are never too old for your trauma to affect you.
Boom. Boom. Now, I'm going to back up one step backwards. The definition of trauma, everyone thinks it has to be this grandiose moment, this life-changing impact. Absolutely not. You could have stubbed your toe, skint your knee, and nobody came to check on you. That's trauma. Welcome.
Oh, yeah. Trauma can be this small.
It can be this small. You can have a whole princess in the pea moment.
It can be one minuscule moment that's just, you feel it specifically, and it's just going to bother you your entire life.
Because then you're going to start looking for things that look similar. And then you try to avoid those things. And then you start moving in trauma avoidant behaviors. So trauma doesn't have to be sexual assault. Trauma doesn't have to be being blown up. Trauma doesn't have to be a wicked bad car accident. Trauma can be emotional.
Trauma can just grow up poor.
Generational trauma specifically. You could just grow up poor. You can grow up. And so the way I like to explain trauma to my clients is you have unfortunately gotten a peek behind the curtain of life way before you were ready. Because then you learn, you learn a great bit of things. One, true evil does exist in the world. It does. It is awful.
And usually it's something close to you.
And it's usually something really close to you. True evil exists. Nothing is as safe as we make it out to be. Safety is a self-made construct.
Nothing is as dangerous as we make it out to be either, too.
Nothing is as dangerous. Everything is a self-made construct. And logistically, the things that we think have value only have value because we think they have value. I'm gonna say that again.
Nostalgia glasses.
Nostalgia glasses. Or we've been sold a societal concept or the American dream. Those things only have value because we have been convinced that it does have value. Fucking the whole pandemic, everybody learning to work from home, even though they said it couldn't be done.
And making more money with less time, happier, can get some shit done that they want to get done,
and more work-life balance. That has truly like stagnated the professional concept in society, in American society specifically, because it's just like, well, we need you all back in the office. Why? Well, we just miss kind of seeing y'all. I'm in my office all the time, and you never come to see me. So
productivity is better since this has been happening.
Cheesy bread? Okay.
Like productivity has become better since COVID. So
like I'm not.
You think I want to wake up early in the morning when I'm not a morning person? Get coffee, whatever. Take my caffeinated medication because I'm fucking need it because I'm tired. Drive in shitty ass traffic all the way to some work that's out of the way 9 times out of 10. To sit at some desk with fluorescent lights that I ain't comfortable at because they fluorescent fucking lights. Sit out the window watching sunshine and birds singing.
Right. And being forced to interact with people that I probably wouldn't interact with on the regular in my leisure.
And Frank talking to me about some shit that I don't give a fuck about. I can honestly do that in my own damn house. But like talking to me about some shit I don't give a fuck about. And I gotta play nice. Because if I say something, especially for the POC people, I gotta play extra nice because if I even seem kinda
my goodness.
I got an attitude.
Oh my goodness. Like so let's segue into that. Let's segue into some POC because I know a lot of our audience, a lot of our listeners aren't POC. There are.
We about to make y'all feel cool.
All right, at least 2 schools of thought. One, as a person of color, I shouldn't have to teach you anything.
We can guide you.
Second school of thought. You don't have to check in with me about your efforts. So let's go with this first school of thought. I shouldn't have to teach. So I'm of a sound mind of a person who is obviously clinically and therapeutically inclined. And I have this understanding because whenever people come into my office, I see y'all all as status quo, right? Y'all are all basic. We may have some different tenets culturally that I can learn about and we can learn from each other, but that is the agreed upon interaction in our environment. That is not the way the real world works.
Nope.
You can't walk up to a person of color and say, hey, I live in the middle of nowhere. There aren't very many people of color. I feel like I want to be an ally because people really fucking suck in this area. How do I help? You're either going to get one of two responses. Get the fuck out my face. Go figure it out. Why the fuck do I have to be in charge of articulating this for you? That's the problem. Or two, all right, here's a list of books. Go away. I am the second person.
Honestly, we probably would appreciate somebody just saying that instead, because usually it's you owe me kind of thing.
Right. We'll get to
but I want to know, so you owe me this explanation.
We'll get to entitlement in a second. But I am of the second variety because in my line of work, I can't sit here and demand something from you and not tell you what it is. I can't. That doesn't make me feel comfortable in my vibe, in my soul, and my values. So if you are willing and vocal and able to articulate that you have weakness in this area and need assistance from an expert, that's how I view it. I've had at least 2 people on Twitch saying, hey, like that example is a real example. Lives in the Midwest, not very many Black folks. And it's like frowned upon to like act out, frowned upon to kind of approach them because they think you're going to harm them, right? Because that doesn't happen. And so it's like, where is a safe environment to start allyship for people that want to be connected? But you don't have to be connected to the culture to be an ally.
Mm-hmm. Part of it is acknowledging your shit. See, here's the thing. Go ahead.
And detaching from said shit when you know it's going to hurt.
Like, most of y'all, like, here's the thing. When it comes to racism and a bunch of other stuff, most people think it's, you know, white hoods and noose knots. It's not always just that. Racism is realizing that some shit, like your way of thinking has been swayed by society. And if it makes you feel uncomfortable, don't avoid it. Figure out why it makes you feel uncomfortable. That's the main thing. A lot of people, when you hear like, oh, that's kind of racist. I'm not racist. I like Black people. That's like, but then they also say something that's racist. Like, I got Black friends. Like, see that part, that's right there. Like,
that's racist.
You're tokenizing.
That's the other thing. That's the other thing is taking accountability for your emotional reactions to things. That's what you mean by, you know, figure out why we're having that reaction.
Because white people, a lot of y'all don't want to hear this, but all of y'all are inherently racist.
Which doesn't mean, which means it's not on purpose. It is the system in which you grew up.
Yep. Just like me as a man. I might be a Black man, but as a man, I'm inherently sexist because I was raised in a patriarchal society.
Boom.
And Miko has called me out on that shit quite a few times. Like, hey, man, like, because a privilege is something that somebody has to tell you that if someone has told you something, you thought like, I never thought about it that way. That's the fucking privilege. What the fuck, Miko?
I'm right here. I just need to stand up to turn on this fan because this pizza is really hot. Okay. But I'm in nowhere.
But a privilege is something you didn't have to think about that somebody has to think about. Like white privilege is a thing. There's Black privilege to a certain extent.
There's pretty privilege.
There's handicap privilege. There's handicapable privilege. There's the fact that I'm right-handed is a fucking privilege.
Big privilege.
I'm 6 feet tall. I got tall privilege. I can do this. I can reach shit that was on top high shelf with no problem.
Mm-hmm.
But I acknowledge I got that privilege. So anytime I move anywhere, I got a step ladder for shorter motherfuckers. Like just
facts.
If I date you and you short, you get a step ladder.
Let's talk about pretty privilege for a second. Let's talk about this shit. I don't remember what the fuck we was talking about. We were on the Weebs Interweaves podcast Wednesday, and we were doing You Get $1 billion, and it was something about you get $1 billion, but every time you watch a movie you've never seen before, you have to go stand at a children's playground and stare at kids until someone asks you to leave. I said no one would ask me to leave. Probably, it'd be very rare, unless they were racist. Obviously, they probably wouldn't because there was like right. I was like they would legitimately look at me and be like, "Oh, you're so pretty. What's your name?" pretty privilege sucks. Okay, for those that don't understand the concept, pretty privilege is essentially people think that you're nice and you're approachable and attractive and deserve all the nice things because you look a certain way. You look
That
physically
and or they
attractive.
just want to fuck you. That's what acting that way.
Mm-hmm. Problem with that is it brings a lot of unwanted attention. Like, contrary to popular belief, we are ambiverts, heavily on the introvert side. And so every time people want to talk to you, and not to mention that good old Southern Baptist upbringing, we have self-esteem issues and can't take compliments. Oh my God.
No.
Oh my God, your hair's so cute. Thanks.
And also, let's just throw in body dysmorphia too. Like just
Body dysmorphia, 100%.
because here's the thing I want to say. This has chapped my hide quite a bit. This rumbles my grundle when it
Chap
comes
your
to
hide. You're
situations.
so old, Snoo.
This rustles my jimmies. But here's the thing about body dysmorphia. When I say I don't feel attractive, I don't give a fuck that you find me attractive.
That part.
I say I don't feel attractive. Me. To me.
Small sidebar. For those that like to rush in and comfort people, stop doing that. Stop. That's your work. That's what I'm trying to do. Stop rushing in to save. Stop rushing in to comfort. Because a lot of times people don't want to be comforted. They want to be validated and understood.
It's minimalizing.
Yeah. Oh my God. Like I got a pep talk once. And I just wanted to sit and be mad for 15 minutes.
Your pep talks ain't shit, people. Straight
Your
up.
pep talks ain't shit.
Pep talks ain't shit.
They are not magical unicorns. I'm not saying your intention to be helpful is bad. I'm just saying you need to figure out how to channel it in a way that is actually helpful for the individual. I asked someone.
For me, I think.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like personally, I think pep talks aren't really peppy. If that makes any sense. But it's like mid-ground between a pep talk and like that real friend. You know, the one that's like just being an asshole, but giving you that tough love, but it's not really tough love. You just being a dick. I feel like a real pep talk is between those situations.
Yeah. Yeah, them fake shits, some fake pep talks are right up there with oh, I'm sorry for your loss.
You don't get me.
Hold on, pause it. But no, I asked someone that I was becoming friends with. They told me they were having not such a great day. And so I was like, what kinds of things comfort you? Notice I did not rush in and be like, oh, woo, woo, woo. Mm-mm. No, we're not doing that.
But the sun's shining. You're alive. You should be happy to be that way.
First off, as an elder millennial, I could give a fuck less about being alive. Are you finished? Are you done? Imagine trying to comfort an elder millennial like my ass. Exactly. So I asked him, I said, what kinds of things help to comfort you? Because that's another thing. We got to stop assuming that we know things about people we're close to. We got to stop assuming that we know things that just because they make us happy will make other people happy.
Even if you know that person, like
for years, right?
So that's how we had a whole revelation.
We had a full-on knockout, drag-out argument. He cussed me, slammed the fuck out, and got loud with me, and I was like, "Damn!"
But it was needed. But at the same time, we had done enough work with each other, but with ourselves, that we could
not react at each other and actually listen.
Like, I feel this way because it's blah, blah, blah. This is some bullshit. Like, it was acknowledging that person's upset, but not like, this nigga mad at me. How dare he be mad at me? That kind of shit.
How dare he be mad at me? I can be mad too. What about this, and this? Like, what good does that do? Because
sometimes people get upset or loud. I'll just say this, not even upset. Some people get loud, not to be yelling, not to traumatize, not to be.
That's the part you need to hear the most. It's like
sometimes they're passionate about it. Sometimes they just don't know that they're yelling. Like sometimes if you're passionate about something, you ain't got a fucking volume control. Like see that shit, like stuff like this. Like I have had a friend, I don't know if we friends no more, but like the moment I raise my voice, even if I don't intend to, she shuts the fuck down. Like, and not even yelling, like talking like this. I'm like, hey, excitement or passion. Listen to this part right here. Emphasis. Y'all watch Drake and Josh before Drake did the Drake shit. But like, it's like when Josh like, for emphasis. Emphasis. Like just
pause. Sidebar. Celebrities are people. We're gonna get to that. Go ahead.
But yeah, like, cause she didn't evaluate her trauma about like, cause she told me like when I'm gonna be real. This is why when I started starting my shadow work too, she told me like when people yell, let it shut down. I ain't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I ain't, because that's not my problem. I saw it as stupid, but I didn't like voice that. But yeah, like back to us, like even if we been best friends for over a decade now. I think
Good
almost
God.
2 decades. Shit.
Jesus Christ. What year is it? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's almost been 20 years. Knowing each other for that long. I will never know everything about this woman.
Absolutely
She
not.
would never know everything about me. We may know a lot more than the average Joe. Like,
That's true.
and technically we like the manual to each other in a lot of ways. And if you should probably like listen to the manual sometimes.
You should listen to the manual. You should really stop
especially when
reacting out at people when they're
especially when the product says like, hey, listen to the manual. The manual knows me. That's
like,
why I did my work.
I can respect wanting to learn and figure out on your own. I can. But when I am just gently saying,
some shit you don't want to learn on your own.
I'm here for reference. Don't take that as a personal challenge.
Some shit you just don't want to learn on your own. Just straight up. It helps to have help.
You don't have to reinvent the wheel.
That's just a life nugget everybody needs to take. Like whether it be learning a new task, learning a new person.
Right. Because the only thing it does is satisfy your pride or really beat down on your self-esteem with disappointment.
Your pride don't help you.
You get nothing either way. Just make it easier for you.
Your pride ain't shit.
Audiobooks were created for people that were, they were blind. They could not, obviously see the pages. Audiobooks were originally intended for that. How many of you motherfuckers listen to podcasts and watch audiobooks and read audiobooks? How many?
Because it's so much easier.
Because it's so convenient. It's so much easier.
Because some of us have lives that involves us moving around constantly, driving all the time, being in our car. Mm-hmm. We just don't want to sit down and focus and read on something because we got a neurodivergency that will not allow us to do that at certain times.
And that, clinically speaking, is why the ADA would very much like for everyone to start using the words differently abled than disabled, because everyone is able to do something. It's just that we are not all going to approach it the same way. Now you know.
And here's a little life nugget. Just because, I think we've covered it a couple of times in different podcasts, but just because it's something how you would handle it or how you would do something does not make it wrong.
Doesn't make it wrong, doesn't make it right. It just means it's not up to you, but it's cool that you have a plan in place in case it becomes up to you.
Because y'all have heard some of the arguments between me and my exes where it's like, it was mainly just focused on, yeah, but I don't like it this way. Okay. It's still getting done.
Yeah, that was something that me and Scotty had to overcome when we moved in together, because growing up in the Southern Baptist household and being the youngest child, I was also Cinderella. I was in charge of all the cleaning of the household, you see? And so it means I have particular standards about what it means to be clean, what it means to have a clean bathroom, a clean kitchen, a clean living room. He was not raised that way, and I cannot fault him for that. And I also cannot fault him for not wanting to learn to do things exactly as I do, because then that would just make two of me.
Because also, let's be real, some standards are too fucking high.
Some standards are too fucking high. So I'm like,
we all do it.
Yeah, 100%,
we all do.
100%. And that's always a qualm with people, especially like my couples.
But they don't meet my standards.
It's like, it's been 13 years. We've been married 13 years. They should know. Should they? Have you ever directly told them? And have you, and not
they should know.
Not this beat around the bush humor, hikiki. I would just love it if you did this shit. Like directly said, hey, I need you to do this way, and then explain why so they can understand how it impacts you. That's the thing you should be basing your judgment on.
Yeah. Have you ever given somebody directions? How do they respond
to how it impacts you?
Like, have you ever given somebody directions somewhere? Do you say like, do you hint around which way they should turn?
I mean, you could turn left here or right two streets down. Just tell me.
You want them to know how to get to this destination, you fucking tell them. Same thing with people. Like, that also. And when we talk about relationships, when we say relationships, we are talking about work environments. We are talking about romantic relationships. We are talking about friendships. Because honestly, friendships are probably the main thing we talk about, because A lot of y'all motherfucker treat friendships like relationships and relationships like friendships.
That part. That part.
It's stupid, but that's what we do.
It's like I noticed that in like 8th grade. Because that's like, middle school ish when all the girls are caring. I'm like, oh my God, I like this guy. Or oh my God, he likes that girl and blah, 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 and all this shit. And it's like, at what point does this label of significant other change you completely as a person and how you interact? Like, what the fuck?
I don't know. I think it's got worse when we got older because let's be real, like, grown folks, I'm going to talk to you right now, all of us. Once again, about with your relationships, how many relationships have you fucked up because you spent more time listening to other people than talking with your partner?
Boom. Boom. Boom.
Like,
so, perfect personal example. I was in grad school. I just moved up here. We had just washed our hands and tried trying to be friends for the second time. First time.
Yeah.
And our two friends, A and B, were having relationship issues. You were friends with B, I was friends with A, and they kept calling us both back and forth. Right? And then they kept asking what we should do.
Them.
I know you can't. You remember one, but you don't know who the fuck I'm talking about right now. But they kept asking both of us what we should do. And at that point in time, I was the type of person, I don't keep secrets. I don't do that. Secrets or evil secrets are bad. If you say you want to break from someone and then that person calls me and asks what you said, I'm going to tell them what you fucking said.
I usually just blurt it out because I forget.
But that was back in the day. And then it all blew up and whatever. And like at some point, both of us started brokering these people's relationship. And then they really both us, wait a minute, there's too many cooks in the kitchen. Why are we talking to y'all? That was a great question. Why were you talking?
What the fuck was this? We gotta talk after this to figure.
I will text you.
Okay, like, cause I can't remember who the fuck. It's like there's that faint bell ringing in the back of my head, but it's like I don't know these motherfuckers.
Yes, you do. You about to be like, oh, watch. But no, like stop. Listen. So when I got to my
shit, yeah,
See?
yeah,
See?
I forgot they were together.
Right. He never forgot. That's terrible. My bad. I'm sorry. But no, in my previous job, when I first got there, I'm trying to get used to the dynamics and everything and see how things roll, who hangs out with who talks directly to who and whatnot. And there's a lot of just gossip and hearsay going on. And I'm like, and I'm getting approached by one person. It's just like, I feel like such and such is mad at me. What do you think I should do about it? Go talk to them. Yeah, no, like really, like how do you think like I should send them this or that? I think you should go talk to them. I think you should stop telling me about this bullshit and go talk to them. And I did
seriously,
say that.
People.
Like you're spending so much energy doing
your friends ain't shit when it comes to stuff like this. I don't care. I will say this to the day I fucking die. Your friends ain't shit when it comes to advice about your life.
Because they're trying to defend you as if
they are biased as fuck. Unless you got friends who have done their work, who at least attempt to look at things objectively. Like Miko, she still has a bias, but she'll acknowledge it. And there's like 85 to 90% objectivity. Like it's
82.
I'm
a solid 82%.
82? Like 80%, like I'm trying to be as unbiased and objective, but there always is going to be a little bit of biases. Some of your friends are 100% biased.
100%. First of all, I wouldn't even let that happen to me. I would cut him out, block him.
And 9 out of 10, it's one of your unhappy motherfucking friends. Like, don't talk about finances with somebody who ain't got no job. Don't talk about relationship status with somebody who's been single for their all fucking life. Don't say seriously. If your friend goes far to one end when you're talking about something, they're giving you advice, question that.
No, fuck that. If your friends want to just jump in directly and give you advice, period, question that. What perspective are you coming from with them? What are you hoping the outcome would be? Because, and friends, I'm going to teach y'all how to appropriately assist your friends and the people you care about. Do not give any input. Listen, attend, listen to understand, ask clarifying questions about what you're hearing, and then start with this one question. You ready? what are you thinking about doing?
Yeah, if they
Because
say, well,
9
I
times out of
would.
10, people have ideas, but they just need somebody to co-sign or they need somebody to validate to make sure that this isn't out of line, that this isn't crazy.
Well, now
And
if
then
they
you can
say, well,
also
I would
follow.
do this, that, and the other,
Right.
that's not something you need to listen to
Right.
because they ain't even listening to you.
They're trying to
They putting
comfort you.
themselves in it. They're
They're
trying
trying
to
to comfort
comfort you,
you.
and they're putting themselves in that situation because they're too. It's a selfish kind of thing. Like we've
Mhm.
all done it. Like it's they probably like something that happened to you probably has happened to them in some form or fashion that triggered their upsetness.
Their trauma.
Like yeah, their trauma where they haven't done their own fucking work.
Heartbreak is trauma. Feeling betrayed, it's trauma. Grief, it's trauma. It's all trauma. All of it.
Like you got a friend that's been cheated on, everybody's gonna be cheating. Everybody.
Hmm. Oh my god. Oh my
Like
god.
everybody's cheating because they haven't dealt with their trauma. But at the
Can we
same time, like
can we talk about relationships real quick with the cheating? Can we?
relationships are cheating. Which one of the two?
Both. Can we talk about that real quick?
Mm-hmm.
Because as a former cheater, now this is even way before the roaring whoring 20s. Maybe the next time we pre-record, we'll talk about that. Um, but
Yeah, I've cheated and been cheated on too,
as
so I get you.
a former cheater, there is always a large chunk of self-work that needs to be done because you are expending more energy hiding, lying, cheating, slinking around, planning, and being deceptive and pretending to be okay than you are going through and
You
just saying you are not fulfilling this need. I'm not getting this met. I don't think this is going to work. This, that, the other.
you're chasing validation when you can't even validate yourself.
That part. Like think of it like you are doing all this running around stuff. You are long term work trying to tend to a wound, right? When all you really need to do is snatch a band-aid off one time.
Like just what? Like here, yeah, that's also too. Or you're just
Just
listening to
one.
too many. You sometimes you just listen to too many people. That's like why a whole bunch of dudes she can think, oh, you need to go around and stick your dick in anything. You need to be doing this, that. You need to be a player.
You single until he put a ring on it. No, the fuck you're not.
Like you've just been single all your life and you unhappy.
No, the
But
fuck
yeah,
you're not.
here's
Stop saying that.
but also when you communicate that kind of shit that you're unfulfilled, that like your partner, well, it goes back to what we said, just might not know. It would be more than happy. But you gotta initiate shit. Like hell, we've talked about some of my situations where like I had a partner who didn't feel like I was getting freaky enough. But if y'all know me, y'all know me. I'm like, but at the same time, vanilla stuff, she
All
ended up
them,
being in pain after
all
vanilla
them,
stuff. So I actually
all them
communicated.
coworkers y'all got in that room.
So what?
All them coworkers y'all got in that room. All them colleagues sitting on the shelf in there.
But like I communicated with her like I don't feel comfortable because it's painful for you to have vanilla sex. So why would I even feel comfortable doing anything else?
Especially because you like pain slits. You nasty.
Yeah. I've done horrible things.
Bitch, how are you gonna call him nasty?
iPod. Like I've done horrible consensual things to people.
Mm. Mm.
But it's like, but at the same time, like she held me to this like, cause she ain't do her work. She ain't like, cause after an orgasm or two, it becomes painful for her. Which there's some trauma there you need to fucking work on because I'm gonna make you get there. I just need to. If you want to keep going, we need to make sure it ain't painful for you.
Disclaimer: this is not a PSA for glitches.
I'm a gentleman. I'm gonna satisfy your soul if I get mine.
But no, real talk. Like if you have trouble coming to your significant other and saying something flat out, I mean both of those things, but like saying something flat out, and you don't feel like you have the support enough to articulate those things or that discomfort, two things need to happen. One, you need to do some individual work to build up that voice, that inner confidence and that certainty.
Stop blaming the other person.
And two, stop blaming them because they can't read your mind. You can't read people's mind. You think you can because you think you're comforting people, even though that may not be the way they like to be comforted. What the hell is that? Hello, Maya. Hey, girl. How are you doing? What you doing? You don't even like me. I'm not dad. Hey, not dad. You got snacks? Yes, I have snacks, but you can't eat them. They got cheese. But no, like So when my partner and I first got together, like that was a recurring thing. I would never voice my needs because that's also where I was here in my little box of my upbringing. You can't voice needs because you rock the boat. You have to make everybody comfortable. You have to be uncomfortable. You have to bear the
Ooh,
discomfort for everyone else.
can I say something real quick? Okay.
Go ahead, real quick.
And this is where sometimes this is where you can tell a good friend and a shitty friend. A good friend will make you mad because they right. Because they'll say
100%,
some shit is like
100%,
they'll say some
100%,
shit like
100%, 100%. But when my partner and I got together, he was maybe one of the first people that not only, noticed my behaviors and things that kind of triggered me and how I react to them. Like loud conversations, I used to not be able to do them. I would be right here. I would physically shrink and he'd be like, no, we're not doing that small shit. What are you doing? What's wrong? What happened? What do I need to adjust? And I was like, bitch, you attentive? What the fuck? But I would also notice, like, when I wanted to bring things up, and that was a recurring pattern in all my relationships. If I want to bring something up, I feared retaliation so bad that I would avoid it or just beat around the bush so much. If you are doing that, this is not the relationship you think it is.
I remember some of them times, boy.
Right. And if you are to the point of, I should be able to do this, and then your partner reacts in a way that is not productive or not functional, you know what you need to do.
Communicate that.
You know what you need to do.
If you and also if you communicated, let's say like how many times? 3 times, and they're not getting it, then that's on them then.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna say this, and I don't care what nobody says.
Oh shit! Now,
there's no such thing as accidentally cheating or making one mistake.
No such thing.
It's not. It's a plethora of multiple consecutive
Actions.
mistakes you've made.
Actions. Choices you've made. Choices.
That you were trying to validate because of some bullshit. Well, she ain't pay attention to me. Have you said, baby, I would like for you to pay more attention to me because I feel this, that, and the other. When we talk about this and you act like this, I don't feel that you're paying enough attention to
me. Because, like, it is easier to admit fault shortly after or in the moment. Because after you admit fault, ripping off that Band-Aid, the only thing you have to deal with is how you're impacted by the emotional reaction that follows, not this compounded ordeal or incident. Because those compounded ordeal incidents you carry with you. Like,
now, real talk.
It's no secret. It's no secret. The way I ended up with my loving partner was a bitch cheated. I cheated. I did. It was awful. It was bad. It was a bad decision. But I was unhappy. I wasn't being listened to. All the usual bullshit. But I didn't communicate hardly any of that shit. And when I did, I was laughing and being humorous. Like sitcom shit. Like, oh, well, maybe if you handle things in the bedroom, we wouldn't have this problem. Like little shit like that. But the day I decided to fucking knuckle up and be like, listen. You told me if I ever lost interest in you to tell you, I'm telling you I have lost interest. And I have pursued other avenues. The outcry, the outrage.
I remember that day.
Loudness, all of it was there. I mean, and you got every right to be pissed. And then you had a whole crying fit. But it was easier to move through than sitting here and be like beating around the bush. Because beating around the bush just prolongs it. It means you're going to do it some more. Make it work.
Ooh, this is more from the cheaty aspects. If you've been cheated on, your emotions are invalid, and not invalid. Your emotions are valid. And I was
about to say, oh, sir.
As in, like, here's the thing. I had to learn this after 5 years of what happened. You ain't got to give a fuck about that person's feelings because they ain't give a fuck about yours at that moment in time. Get pissed. Get mad. Don't let the hate flow through you.
Boundaries.
You can get mad at the shit. Quit being be kind of understanding.
I gotta be the bigger person. No, the fuck you don't. You just don't need to take out your rage
petty
on
gremlin.
Else.
Like, yeah, I'm not saying like haul off and go on a complete Hulk out rage, but at the same time, like fuck it, call her a bitch. Seriously, like, cause that's some bitch worthy shit. Like,
that's some bitch worthy shit.
They have earned your rage at that moment in time. They've
That's a good
earned your
point.
anger.
That's another good point. So let's talk about the concept of anger and being mad and allowing ourselves to be that, right? Because, like, so obviously, growing up in the patriarchy society, you are entitled to be angry, but because you're a black male, you have to avoid it because you'll probably get shot, right? I am not allowed to be angry ever. One, because I was born female and we have to be prim, we have
Yep,
to be
it's
proper and southern, and oh my God, civil, sweet, Lord bless your heart, all that. But I'm
you.
also a black woman, which means I
Yeah,
can't voice my opinion in my office or anything because then I'll be the angry black woman at work.
because it's not even like it's, and just as black people in general, like we can't be proportionally angry to anything.
We can't have the proportional outrage that is
Like you
required
could
of
kill my
situation.
cat right in front of me, and I
And if
punch
you
you.
want,
And
and
if I just punch
I
you,
guess his wife was crazy. She just threw her titties in my hand. You grabbed her titties. I saw you. I'm sorry.
be like, yeah, like we can't get proportionally angry to
Can't be
shit
proportionally
because
angry because our life depends on it. Literally, it's unfortunate. But no, like let's talk about healthy anger, right? Like anger is a secondary emotion, yeah, but think of it as your preliminary emotion, but like at a level, okay, at a level. So like I am sad, but it is out of proportion because it's so complex that I am angry because it's like this isn't fair. There's a lot of messages that go into I am sad. So I need it not to just be preliminary. I need it to be up here. Hence, anger's like, hell yeah, homie, I got you. Yeah. So there is a healthy version of being angry. It's okay to be mad. It's okay to feel some type of way if your boundaries are crossed, if you are feeling trampled on or made to feel less than. Like, stop being
when they're
so
communicated.
yes, when they're communicating, but stop being so considerate of other people that trample you like this. I'm not saying be retaliatory. No, no, no. I'm saying allow yourself to feel what you feel about this so
Feel
you can
free
get
to let
through
the
it.
fucks fly sometimes. Like say
Nah.
fuck you, fuck them, fuck that, and fuck you again. Like just let
Dishonor on
you
you,
decide
dishonor
on your
on your
cow.
cow.
Sometimes you gotta let the fucks fly, okay? Like straight up. Makes sometimes you feel better making someone feel bad because they went through the effort to make you feel like shit.
That part. They went through the effort to make you feel like shit. They put in work for this.
Now, if
But
somebody like scuff your shoes and you blow off the fucking roof like that, then calm down,
that, that
motherfucker. Like
that's
that ain't anger worthy.
that's a
Like
value kind of thing. You need to sort through yourself and prioritize
you a
values
white knight that you
well
will try to
as well as really kind of take inventory of where your stress building is coming from in your life.
see. Here's the thing: when people say like anger eats away at you if you hold it in, yeah, it does, but not in the way most people think about it. Because people think like, oh, they think like the whole Bruce Banner situation, I hold anger into me. I'm gonna Hulk out and rage and shit. No, that shit eats away in you because you're spending so much time trying to care about other people's feelings. Like, well, like it's like when people will snap. Like people snap
Yeah,
because you're spending so much time not being angry and trying to be understanding without letting any of that anger out. I mean,
yeah.
that's fine. That's fine. That's cool. That's cool. That's fine. That's fine. That's cool. That's cool.
And then you get
That's
across
fine.
that one paper straw that breaks in the paper, and that's a wrap. We going off on everybody in the damn Starbucks for no reason.
Like instead of just legit letting that anger, because also we spend so much time in society. Like our next actual live shit might be just embracing negativity
Yeah,
or what
I
people
think that's it.
consider negativity.
Negativity. All right, so we got 5 minutes. Life nugget storm. Go. One, stop stalling. Stop holding yourself to standards. Go make friends. You know how to make friends. Stop saying that you don't. Give them a compliment. Say, hey, I really kind of want to be friends. Like, and don't do it in the creepy hidden agenda way. I don't have many friends, and you seem really cool. Maya, quit fucking with the curtain before I beat your ass.
All right, rapid fire. Like you
Rapid
just want to
fire.
bounce back. You want tennis? You want tennis and
Yeah,
shit?
go for it.
All
Go
right.
for it.
You don't know much shit as you think. You don't know much shit as you think you know when it comes to certain people. Like it's the moment you think you know everything about somebody, they will surprise you. Hopefully pleasantly, but 9 times out of 10 it won't because you're so caught up in your own ego that you will fuck it up.
Ooh, you got to do the Wimbledon noise. You got to hit back to me. Every problem you have, every self-conscious moment you have, every self-esteem moment you have, every negative self-talk moment you have that you doubt yourself, other people have it too. Nobody's talking about you because they're too busy thinking everyone else is talking about them.
To back up on that, you ain't that special. You,
Damn.
none of us are that special.
No. Damn, he
We're
took the
not.
glasses off.
We all
Oh,
go through shit. We all go through
feelings.
similar shit. Your feelings don't matter as much as you think they do. They matter, but not as much as you think they
They're
do.
valid and they matter to you. To you. Piggybacking off of that, when I say to you, I mean you have to be your biggest cheerleader. You have to be the one that challenges the negative voice in your head because, unfortunately, yeah, you didn't put it there, but you live with it. And the more you live with it and let it slide, the worse you're going to get. You have to be in charge of challenging that bastard and tell him to get the fuck out. Shut the fuck up, Terrence. Like, whatever the fuck you want to name it. Go to war with that bitch. Make things different.
You have, if you are the luckiest motherfucker in the world, 5 genuine friends in your life. Your lifetime. I'm gonna say that. Your whole damn lifetime. All these people who like who are in your life, yeah, they're friendly, but they're not. When I say they're not true friends, I don't mean like scheming behind your back, but at the same time, like
The way you're
they're
defining it may not fit.
they're fair weather motherfuckers sometimes. They are seasonal friends that you are trying to hold on to.
Mm-hmm.
He
Mm-hmm.
did that, Serena. Ah!
Oh, I hate you. Um, shit. What was I gonna say to that? Damn it, you made me lose my train of thought. Shit.
2 hours later.
We are talking about embracing negativity. Peace out. Good show on Don During 101. Stick around. Holla at us.